All right, this is our last video. What? And it is for Geometry NTI Days 42, 43, and 44, which are kind of like an assessment of what you have learned. Sorry, I had to take the top off my pen. But these days are like an assessment of what you have learned in geometry. So basically, if you've learned nothing else, you have to have learned this stuff that is on the assessment. So at the end of your NTI packet, it's also the very last page posted on Facebook in the album. It is this review. So I'm going to work through this review for you, and it pretty much matches up exactly what you're going to see on that assessment, which is broken into 3 days. So if you find yourself getting stuck at all on days 42, 43, or 44, just check out this video here. So I'm going to start with number 1. It wants me to determine the measure of the angle marked with a question mark. So on this one, I have my parallel lines, and I know that because of that little arrow there and there. My parallel lines cut by a transversal. And if you want to remember the angle pair names, that's great. That'll help you. These are alternate exterior. They're congruent. So I know that one is 60 degrees. Another way to think about it is that all of the acute angles are congruent to each other. So all the acute angles in this picture would be 60 degrees. So that one is 60. This one over here is also acute. This one is acute. This one is acute would be another way to figure it out. And then all of these big obtuse angles like this one here would be 180 minus 60. So all of these would be 120. So that big obtuse angle, this obtuse angle is 120, this obtuse angle, and then that last obtuse angle, they're all 120. All right, the next one kind of takes that a step further. Determine the measure of the angle marked X in the figure below. So I'm just going to start right here because I know too that because they're next to each other, they're going to be supplementary because they make a line. They're a linear pair. So to calculate that, I would do 180 minus 105, which is going to give me 75 degrees. So that is this angle right there is 75 degrees. It tells me this other one is 45, and then I'm looking for X. They make a triangle. So I have to know all the angles in a triangle add up to 180. So I know 2 in my triangle. I can do 75 plus 45. That's going to give me 120. And then 180 minus 120 is going to give me 60 degrees. So 60 would be my final answer for that angle X. Number 3, classify the triangle below by its angles and sides. So I don't have any tick marks on my triangle. So I don't have any congruent sides. That tells me that it's going to be scalene. If I have 2 congruent sides, that's isosceles. And then if I have all 3 congruent sides, that would be equilateral. All right, then I need to look at my angle because it says angle and sides. And I have one obtuse angle. So obtuse. This is an obtuse scalene triangle. If it has a right angle, then it's a right triangle. And if they're all acute, then it's acute. All right, next one, determine the measure of the missing angle. So kind of like we did up on number 2, but actually easier. Have 40 degrees. I have a box here, which means 90 degrees. So I can add those up. 90 plus 40. That's going to give me 130. And then subtract that from 180 because all triangles add up to 180. So 180 minus 130, 50 degrees. All right, number 5. I'm taking that one step further. What is the value of X? I have a triangle, 80 degrees, 50 degrees, 16x plus 2. So I'm just going to make my equation here. I'm going to add up all my angles together, add up to 180. I'm going to reflect that in an equation. 80 plus 50 plus 16x plus 2 equals 180. I'm going to combine like terms. 80, 50, and 2. 80 plus 50 plus 2 is 132. Plus 16x is equal to 180. Then I need to move my 132 to the other side. Subtract it. And that is going to give me 48. So I get 16x is equal to 48. And I'm going to divide by 16. And I get x equals, I think, 3. Maybe I should better check. Yeah, x equals 3. If you want to plug it back in and check your answer, you can. 16 times 3 is 48. Plus 2 would be 50. And 50 plus 50 plus 80 is 180. All right, next one. Find the measure of the indicated angle. So we do need to start in the triangle that has 2 measures in it. So we have a triangle, we have 2 measures, we're going to add them and then subtract from 180 to find the third. So 80 plus 40 is 120. And then 180 minus 120, we're going to get 60 degrees to put right there. We then have a pair of vertical angles, so we know they're going to be congruent. That one is also 60. And now we have 2 measures in this triangle so that we can find the third one. So that would be 60 plus 93. Let me see if I can find a spot. 60 plus 93, which is 153. And then we can do 180 minus 153, which is going to give me 27. So that angle there, 27, and that would be my answer. So anytime you have a multi-step, you have to start where you have 2 numbers. All right, number 7, find the measure of the indicated angle. We're given 2 on the inside, 1 on the outside here. This is an exterior angle. These are not touching it, so they would be remote interior angles. So we can actually just add those up to get the exterior. 60 plus 50 is going to give me 110 degrees. So on the next one, we're pretty much just like working backwards because we're given an exterior again, or we're given an exterior this time. We didn't have it before. We're given a remote interior angle, and we need to find the other one. So 150 minus 55 is going to give me 95 degrees for that missing angle there. So I subtract since I know the exterior one. All right, number 9, find the measure of the indicated angle. All right, so I'm trying to get all the way in here, or where this question mark is. So I'm going to look at something close to that. So right now I have this 76 and this one, and those are vertical. So I can go ahead and mark that. Then I'm going to have to go over to the other side to help me fill it in. So I have another pair of vertical angles. And then right here, these 2 make a line. So they would add up to 180. So I can do 180 minus 85. So 180 minus 85. And that's going to give me 95 degrees. Sorry, my handwriting's super sloppy because I'm near the bottom of the page. So I have 55 here because vertical, 95 here because these 2 will add up to 180. That's going to help me find my third one because I can add those. 55 plus 95. Jeez Louise. Which is going to give me 150 degrees. And then I can subtract that from 180. So 180 minus 150 is going to give me a 30 degrees right there. I have another pair of vertical angles. And so I know both of those vertical angles are 30 degrees. So in this triangle, I have a 30 and 76 that I can add up. So 30 plus 76 is 106. And then to find that third angle in my triangle, I'm going to subtract from 180 because they all need to make 180. 180 minus 106. I get 74 degrees as my final answer there for my question mark. So on this one, I pretty much had to use every number that I was given and work with it. So you can do this vertical one first, or you can do it towards the end. But definitely be on the lookout for vertical angles. Those really help. And then angles that either make 180 by making a line, or maybe sometimes they might make 90 degrees. Okay, last one I'm going to put in this video, and then I'm actually going to make a second video to do the last 10. And this one wants the measure of angle BAC. So BAC would be this angle here, is the one that we're trying to find. So remember, you're always looking in the middle letter. So A is the one I would look at. And sometimes there can be more than one angle A. So you have to kind of trace the letters there. Alright, so can't really do anything with the 58 here. So I'm going to have to see if I can do something with one of these two numbers. Can't do anything with the 70 yet. I'm going to have to start with the 25. So like I said, be on the lookout for those vertical angles to help you from the beginning. So 25 and this angle, angle DEC, are vertical. They're congruent. I'm going to put the 25 in there. Now I have two angles in this triangle, so I can add those. 70 plus 25 is going to give me 95, and then subtract from 180. 180 minus 95 is 85 degrees. So I'll squeeze that in there. 85, and these are vertical. 85. And now in this triangle, that's so sloppy. I'm sorry, guys. In this triangle, I have an 85 and a 58, so I can add those up. So 143, and then subtract that from 180. 180 minus 143 is going to give me 37 degrees for that angle that I'm trying to find.